I'm already having technical difficulties. What's up, good people? This is your boy Odd Geek, and I am here. One of your keys to the Modiverse. Thanks for tuning in tonight. So I'm super excited because this is a new segment that I'm bringing to the Modiverse, and what I'm going to do with this is going to be an amazing journey, and I hope you follow along. But I'm super excited. So I am the Odd Geek, and my name is Mike. So this is episode one of the open mic, and I'm super excited because, like I said, this is a place that I want to give creatives of any types, no matter small, big, large, whatever you do. I want you to come on here, and I want to talk with you about your passions, and maybe dabble in some Marvel and DC, maybe dabble in some anime and everything like that. But yes, I'm super excited. So the first person that I have today is somebody that I've been following on Twitter for a good little minute. I've seen this person grow, and I've seen this person, and I've followed them and watched their lives and everything like that. So I'm super excited to have them on. I'm grateful that they came on. So I'm going to bring in Mr. DJ.CoBruh. Let them know who you are, sir.
What's going on, everybody? I'm DJ.CoBruh. You can find me on IG, Twitter, Twitch at Super Cobra, SuperCobruh. Super Cobra. That's where I'm at. Facebook, I don't really advertise that one. That's kind of personal, but if you find me on there, I'll probably add you. Maybe it depends. I've been getting a lot of friend requests. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I said, but they finding me, and I'm just like, all right.
Facebook is a whole nother word. I feel like that's for family, and that's it. Facebook is for family, and that's it. But thank you for coming out. So I'm super
glad
excited.
to be here.
I'm glad. Like I said, I'm a little nervous because this is my first episode. I usually I have either a co-host or I got my whole team with me. So me being by myself is kind of it's a little step out, but I'm super excited. So let's get into it. You are a DJ, and I want to talk about how what what made you want to get into DJing. What is the story behind that? And also what is the story about your name and everything like that.
All right, so we'll kind of break it down in two steps. Basically, I got into DJing because in college, I was running with my peoples, the infamous 99. They're not a gang, it's just a little group thing. But we used to throw parties all the time. And it got to a point where, like, we wanted to get more sophisticated with the music. And I couldn't really dance like that. So I'm like, you know what? I'll do the music. I'll just, focus on that. Then, I was starting to get a kind of a good response. I was like playing off of iTunes and I had like good selections. So it got to the point where I started playing around on virtual DJ on my laptop at the time. And I'm just like, okay, like I'm starting to get like a little feel. Like I didn't have a controller yet. So then I took some of my school money. Then I bought like a little Hercules board. And then I started doing like my little primal Neanderthal DJing, like caveman DJing with that little piece of whatever. And then, it was a natural progression of things because it just from my love of like throwing parties and having fun with people and making sure they have a good time. And then it's just every other step, like, and then I started getting like gigs at the school where I was working with fraternities and then like rallies and stuff. And it's just like, I just invested more and more and more into myself. And it just got to the point where I'm just like, damn, I've been DJing paid gigs since 2014. And it's just like I've had like a couple of mentors along the way. And it's just been love, ups and downs. Like I remember like probably my lowest point was when I blew my speakers out at a gig. It was a Valentine's Day dance. And like, I cranked up the volume to the max and they blew out. And we had multiple DJs, luckily, but it was just the lowest point that I hit. Like I really thought about quitting at that time. I'm just like, I can't believe something like that happened, but I managed to just recover and just stick to it and just keep my love for the craft this entire time and just want to contribute to the culture. And with my name, this is actually my second DJ name. My first one was pretty complex. It's like DJ.CoBruh Magic. It's like, yeah, it was just like too many syllables. Because like, I was like, well, my favorite animal is like, the red cobra. And then like magic, Magick, because like I'm a huge Final Fantasy fan. Like I love
Right.
JRPGs and Final Fantasy, so I'm like that'll be a nice little touch. But I'm just like I felt silly saying I'm DJ.CoBruh Magic after a while, so I just decided to just like chop the Magic and then just like I figured there were like a million DJ.CoBruhs, but I'm like let me kind of fix that. So now I'm DJ. Man, see I'm flipped, but like DJ.CoBruh.
You
So
got it. That is.
I had to look down because I looked at the camera. I'm just like, oh wait, oh my bad.
Nah, I love that origin story because I mean, even with you saying when you hit your lowest point and how you kept moving forward with that, and you didn't take that point and just stop doing what you're doing. One thing that I picked up from that is that you said the craft. You kept, you fell in love with the craft and you kept pushing with the craft. So I commend you on that because some people, or when people go through low points, that even myself, we'll just stop.
Yep.
We'll stop and we won't pick it up. We'll probably pick it up like in 6 months to a year, but no matter what, you picked it up. And like I said, what I liked about that is that you said you had developed that craft for it. So I respect that origin story. And yes, the name changed. Yes, I mean, not saying nothing with the, because I'm a big magic fan. I'm a big supernatural fan. I like witches and warlocks. So magic for me is dope. I mean, shoot, people couldn't say my last name, so they would say magic and it's Majet, but they would say magic just because of how it's spelled. So I think that's dope that you kept with that. So yeah. Um, Going forward, you sent the playlist. I'm gonna put it in the chat for everybody, and I want you to talk to us about your playlist because I feel like with that playlist and what you built behind it, I feel like those are a lot of things that a lot of genres that you like. So I just want you to talk about the playlist that you created. It was a feel good playlist, and I like that you said that these are the songs that put me in a good mood and uplift me. So I just want you to touch on that.
Well, the feel good playlist is one, my mindset when it comes to building a playlist is that I'm building it for me, but if I decide to share it, then you guys can kind of get a piece of my thought process and get a piece of my music taste because I don't make playlists that often actually. Like
Wow.
I just kind of actually take playlists and just build on top of them over time. Like I've added more songs to it like as I've run into more songs that I enjoy, but the common running theme was it was just like higher vibrational sounds. Like you wanted that light, airy feeling. There's one song in particular I know that doesn't fit into that, and it's
What is the song?
Oh shit, it's X by Thundercat. That song actually does not fit in that playlist, but I love that song, and I just haven't taken the time to remove it yet. But everything else, just like it, when it comes to like the sound, like I like to go for like the higher vibrational feeling that those songs give, and some actually, go hand in hand with memories as well. Like Walking on the Moon, which is one of the songs on there by The Dream. It reminds me of the first time I was going to college and just like summertime. I'm just riding around with my peoples, having a good time. Like I remember that being on the radio a lot. I thought that was a pretty bright song. And then with like even more recent songs with like off of I'm not sure if I have that song from Astro World with Gun Yosemite. Yeah, Yosemite is on there. Like it was a couple of songs that felt good from that time because I want to say I made that playlist around, if it wasn't late 2018, it might have been late 2019 or somewhere in 2019. And it's just a collection of artists that I just enjoy, and I just look to just build on top of that. And then if I remember any songs, like a song that I will add to that playlist actually would be Girls Them Sugar. That's like another song that will work, like by Beanie Man and Maya, because of like how because like I have a form of mild synesthesia when it's like when I hear notes, I see and feel color. So everything that like I hear, I feel the sensation of color. Like
Wow.
that's another reason why I really thoroughly love DJing and putting sounds together, because it's like just a beautiful combination of just playing with sounds. Like, and that's like my thought process. And because I have crippling anxiety, I put myself, like, I put a lot of pressure on myself to try
Yeah.
to put, like, something well put together like that. So usually that ends up stopping me from putting like other playlists out.
Right.
But it's just a matter of just getting back to it and putting myself out there. That's been like my common running problem with a lot of like my media ventures, like streaming especially.
Yeah.
Like I am, like, how we talked about pushing forward, man. Like, if I think if I like flop a couple of days in a row on streaming, y'all might not see me till like the next like quarter of the year.
No.
I'm just
I look. I 100% get that because I mean a little bit. This segment, like I said, I thought about this segment like the beginning of February, and I was like, okay, I know what I want to do. I got the plan. Me and the team, more diversity, we're doing good. I mean, like, everybody has a segment. We're doing good. I feel like, this will be good. Cause like I said, just looking on the timeline and just looking at the people that I follow, look at
mhm.
all the creatives that I follow. I don't feel like a lot of people really get their chance to talk, regardless of what it is. I mean, I feel like, we all have a passion, we all have a goal. I feel like if we all support each other and embrace each other, I feel like we can all connect and we can all get more people to support us and get people to because you never know what people like, and we can all like the same things, and we can just all be there in that one little box and be able to support each other. So trust me, I get it. But look, it's like the middle of March and I'm just not doing the first episode because I was in my head thinking like, we have so much going on, or I have so much going on myself. I recently was just working two jobs and I've cut down to one job now, so I have more time to focus on things that I enjoy. Like I said, I've fallen in love with podcasting, streaming. I'm trying to get some things together with streaming for myself on Twitch with my PS4 and my Switch. So I 100% get that, but I feel you where I get in my head sometimes,
Yep.
and I want this to be a space where we even though we get in our heads, I want us to have a following where we can all support each other and encourage each other, because I feel like with the last year that we've had so much happen. We've been in the house, we've been dealing with this pandemic, dealing with everything else that's going on. And I feel like, a lot of us had to figure out, well, what can I do to produce content? What can I do to do better for myself? So like I said, I 100% get you with that. So, but just listen to you about the playlist, like that's dope. I hope you come out with more playlists. I hope you have themes with your playlist, because I feel like even when you're talking about the colors, I feel like you would have themes with your playlist. I feel like a lot of people would, understand what you're trying to give off with the music that you put into playlists. Even with the feel good, if you add more to the feel good, because like I said, I was listening to it earlier, and I was like, a couple of these songs I've heard, a couple of these songs I haven't heard. So I got some new favorites. I got some ones that I added to my own playlist. So I appreciate what you did with the playlist. So that's dope.
And I'm, any new person that listens to it, like that playlist is pretty much a shard of me and my personality. Like, it's like, I know, like, that's probably the favorite playlist I've ever made. Like, I've only made like a couple of them, but like I just really just it just something just clicked with that one. And I don't ever want, and another reason that I haven't really done too many of them is that I want the formation to be natural.
Hmm.
Like, for me to have just a natural, I guess, a natural connection to the music, and just be able to put it together, make it flow together. Because you like that playlist, for the most part, I actually try my best to sequence it as well. Most playlists you can just throw shuffle on and it's whatever, but
Right.
like I try to like at least sequence it a little bit. But I enjoy it. Anybody that decides to indulge, definitely check it out. And I'm grateful for anybody that gives anything I do a listen or watch. like I said earlier, I'm here to contribute. I'm not here to take away or to take for purely personal gain, because the ones that are just out there strictly for personal gain when it comes to creative ventures, like those are the true vultures.
Hmm.
Those are the people that are gonna steal content or warp content or come out with fluff content to where
Fluff.
to where like shit just gets bad. Am I able to cuss? Like, is
Yeah,
this
you're
okay?
good,
All
bro.
right,
Like I
cool.
said,
All
you are free. Like you're
right.
good.
But it's just people always want to take but never put back in.
Hmm.
Like it's a shame where we're at, where everybody just wants that instant gratification, also known as clout. It's
Right.
very unfortunate, but this is the world we live in.
Right.
Like,
Oh, that almost made me touch on something. I see my brother laughing my ass off. Yeah, because I was about to touch on one thing about the fandom, but we gonna save that for another. We gonna save that for a whole nother way. Yeah, cuss away. Like, let them know. Like, more truth. Like you, when I said you just hit it on the nail. Like that was just perfect because there's so much I can say about that, but I ain't even about to get it.
hey.
Look, I ain't even about to get into it. Speaking of fandom, because I'm a nerd. I like my Marvel. I got my Secret Wars shirt on today. But speaking of fandom, like, what is your fandom? Like, are you? I know I'm not saying like pro or whatever, but
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
what do you get into? Are you Marvel, DC, anime? Like, I know I'm gonna save the Final Fantasy for later because I was gonna say that for the last thing because I got, like I told you the other day, I have never played Final Fantasy, but I'm definitely getting the one that's like, I guess the one that is out right now, and they had just like remastered it or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely about to get that one. My
It's on.
bro Q been trying to get me to play that, so I'm gonna play that one.
Yeah,
But yeah, we're
go
gonna say that.
ahead, like right now. Just take the time, add it to your library, man. It's free this month on
Yes, I
PS4. You say
heard.
you got a PS4? Go
Yes,
ahead.
yeah, I'm
Don't
gonna
cheat
get it.
yourself.
I'm not. But no, what is your like? What is your fandom like? What do you get into?
Okay, well, I've enjoyed the MCU movies. Like, I'm a movie watcher. I'm not a comic head. Like, I respect the comic heads because I don't know where to drop in. I'm just like, do I read this or do I read that or
Right.
do I ask people like, what's some good runs for this character that I
Hmm.
get into? Like, because like I'm friends with some people that's in comic Twitter, so I'm like, okay, so it's a lot more into it. But like, I love the MCU. Like, I enjoy like bits and pieces of the DCEU. Like,
Hmm.
I think if it came to like the all around media and I had to pick, I would probably lean towards DC because I love their cartoons
Nice.
and I like the characters.
Right.
And I grew up with the cartoons.
Right. I think yeah, I agree with that. Who's your favorite character?
In terms of DC,
DC. Yes.
hmm, I'm like, I'm a Bat Family person, but my
Yeah.
favorite Bat Family member is actually Nightwing. Like
Nice. Okay.
my boy, he's just like he always had the drip, like he had the way with the ladies. They turned him into a sex symbol. I'm just like, all right, man. Like, I, I guess my nigga's name is
We gonna
Dick for
roll
a
with it.
reason. But
We just gonna roll with it. That's dope.
so
Um, yeah. Okay. Well, since when you said you movies, so what is your favorite MCU movie?
like my favorite MCU movie is Winter Soldier easily. Like, Winter Soldier's the one. Like, because
Yeah,
it's basically a spy thriller. Like, you can't go wrong with
you
that. And then
cannot. You cannot.
very close number two is probably Infinity War.
Ooh, good one. I'm sorry. I mean, Winter Soldier has always. Every time I watch that movie, I get chills because it's just Bucky when he runs up on them when they was on the street, and it's Black Widow, and every when he runs up on them like that, and he's just so cold hearted and don't he's on a mission. It's just like that's one of my favorite scenes of him. But yeah, Winter Soldier's like number one for me. So yeah. All right, cool. Um, let's get into some DJs that you listen to, or some DJs that you are inspired by, and things like that.
Okay. All right. The good thing about me, like knowing bits and pieces of the culture, because I'm positive there are some DJs, that are out there for personal gain that probably couldn't name like another DJ.
Hmm.
But like my like the inspiration, which is like, or one of my major inspirations, is actually Daft Punk. Like I love Daft Punk.
Nice.
It's like they're amazing. Like if you ever have time, I'm not assuming that you haven't, but like to the chat, like if you ever have time, listen to their live like albums.
Hmm.
They're amazing. Like Alive 2007 is my favorite live album like ever. And Alive 97 is just a really good 35-minute set of them putting their songs together, and it's just amazing. If you're really into
Mm.
house music, of course.
Right.
And
I'm gonna have to listen to the '97 one. I didn't know the '97 they was actually put music together.
like if you take their tracks that were out around that time and just other little bits and pieces, like they made a set into that. It's very similar.
Mm.
It's basically if you take Alive 97 and inject it with steroids, that's what Alive 2007 was. Because Alive 2007 was like all of their work up until then, even like some of their side projects. But Alive 97 was the same thing, but it's of course a big emphasis on their homework era when they first came out and just basically like shook house music like by the ankles like at that time. And then other DJs, Jazzy Jeff, people probably think of him as Jazz on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but he is a master class DJ.
Mm.
His turntablism skill is amazing. I still haven't gotten to that point. I do have a vinyl set up at the house that I still kind of just like play around on, but I'm nowhere near like able to do a Peter Piper routine. Like if you ever have time, look up Jazzy Jeff Peter Piper routine,
Okay.
and you'll just be inspired just hearing him, just like the way he just like dominates the music like on the wheels of steel. It's amazing. And just
Okay.
other DJs that are just out there, Benny Benassi, like I love the album with Satisfaction, even though that entire album sounds like the song Satisfaction. A Track, who was he was a Kanye West DJ at one point, and then he
Okay.
went on and made Fool's Gold Records, and like have various projects on there. An album that he put out with I forgot his name. I'm so sorry,
You
but
good?
like but he's another DJ who's actually really good. I think it's like Armin Van. I forgot the last name, but he's also amazing too. But they put an album to get out together as Duck Sauce. That's where the song Barbara Streisand came from. The woo, 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 that you heard in the commercials. Yeah, like they did that. That album is a really good house album.
I'm about to check that one out too. I got a lot of homework to do. I'll say that. I got a lot of homework because I mean, soon as we get done, I'm about to play this '90s live '97 because I don't think I paid that no attention. So I'm just mad that they'll never make another superhero album for me because Tron's album was dope. Um, I love soundtracks when they come down to, suspenseful music with horror movies or, these with the superhero movies. I love those type of, composed music. I love those type of soundtracks, especially when I'm getting into my mode of writing and everything. Those are the type of things that I play just to put me in that, that mode
Put
of
you in that
actually,
space.
yeah, to put me in that mode of, in that space to, write a scene or, because things that I write is supernatural and superheroes and science fiction. So it puts me in that mood to actually put things down on paper. So definitely about to listen to Live 97. But I'm very heartbroken that they broke up, and I hope it's just like for a year or two because, like I said, I would love for them to write or compose one more superhero movie. Just because I felt like what they did was with Tron, I can see them doing with somebody with powers and actually having a battle scene or something like that. So
It'd probably be something electronic, but I think like uh, the chances are very unlikely because
I
again,
know,
we haven't heard from them since 2013.
right?
But we
Who
can hold out
knows?
hope.
Right. I'm gonna try to hold out. I'm gonna try to hold
I
out.
only hate I didn't get to see them live. That's like
Yeah.
a regret. But then again, I was pretty young for most of it. Like I didn't have money like that in 2007 to see them live. But
Mhm.
I digress. You know,
Okay. Let's talk about some concerts. have you been to some concerts? Like, what is your favorite concert that you've been to?
I actually haven't been to that many concerts, but I was invited to Drake and the Three Migos in 2018. That was
Okay,
fun. That was a fun concert.
I
That
bet.
solidified a lot of things for me with Drake because it's like it made me realize how on our own like how on his own tier that he really is compared to his
Hmm.
peers.
Yes,
Because he did like a 20-minute set of pure hits
right.
and he didn't have to repeat nothing. And I'm just like, holy shit. That's why I always laughed when they talked about putting him in a versus, and I'm just like, there is
I love
literally nobody in his class that could go against him in terms of hit.
it could be Drake versus Drake. You can do Degrassi Drake versus regular Drake. Like,
You could literally have Drake eras versus themselves.
right,
Because like half the rappers that was on there had about like 2 or 3 Drake collaborations that they played. But
right.
you know,
How do you feel like his new what he released last week?
Scary Hours 2,
Yes.
it was
Cause I
okay.
listened to it. I actually listened to it. I was 3 days behind, and I was like, "Wait a minute!" Like, cause I remember him putting out a promo of like, I guess his album that is coming out, and it was like all of his albums, and they were like the album cover, but then they actually came to life or something like that. It was some big promo like that, and I thought that promo was brilliant. I love film. I love like I love stuff like that. So when he did that, I was like, oh shit, he's still on y'all necks. Like he not letting up. Like so
Drake
when
is a
he
machine at this point.
like when he like I said when I was 3 days late with Scary Hours, I was like, oh okay. And then the first song I do love, and it was just like, cause he came out the gate just talking shit and just doing what he wanted to do and just saying the things he wanted to say. So yeah.
Because like those 3 songs was what it's like it told me something without telling me because like
Mhm.
those 3 songs that came out, Drake was rapping.
Mhm.
We haven't had Drake rapping at us in a minute. He
Mhm.
like, and he decided to bar us up for 3 songs straight. So all that told me is that Cupid Lover Boy is gonna be an R&B album.
Yeah.
He's gonna sing to us. Like that's what he told me because it's kind of like with if you're reading this is too late going into views. If you're reading this is too late had like bangers that were compatible with like the sound at the time,
Right.
and then views was just something on its own at the time, and
Right.
I wasn't ready for that. So I was one of the many people that was hating on views at first, and then I went back and listened to it maybe like a couple years ago, and I was just like, this was actually not as bad as I made it out to be. So I was just like, yeah, I was tripping.
So what? Wait, because my favorite album, and I think it's gonna be cliche when I say this, but my favorite Drake album is "Take Care." It was a banger for me. I had my apartment, my first apartment, and I
Oh
was
yeah.
like that was like a banger for me. So like, what is your favorite Drake album?
Well, I don't know if it counts as an album, but actually, if you're reading this, it's too late. It is my favorite Drake project.
Okay, that's
Like,
fine. I take it because I mean I feel like when people put out music, I call it an album or EP. Because sometimes when people put out EPs, I'd be like, you should just drop the album, like just give me some music. But I mean, yeah, I consider that as that's a
it
body
feels
of
like an
work.
album. It sounds like an
Yeah,
album,
it
and
does.
it's just pure bangers. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's really all I need from Drake at this point. And that he's gotten so big, he can't even make albums like how. Well, actually, that see, I'm about to veer off. It's a whole other conversation.
Okay, you good?
Like when it comes to that, because it's like the way that music is being made is
Mhm.
completely different than like what we had growing up.
Mhm.
Because it's like you have people making albums like just trying to make a good album, but now you
Right.
have people making albums to like fit time limits, make
Mhm.
sure like it's like streamable and shit,
Mhm.
making sure that like you're able to repeat it that way. Like if you leave the album on and it goes back to the first track, it's still like sequenced nicely, or like you'll just leave it on. So and with that being a thing, it's fucking up the actual creative process of people that want to put out albums. That's probably why we're not getting Kendrick albums like that,
Mm.
because like the game's all fucked up,
Right.
and it's like other like super creative people that aren't just pumping out bullshit or fluff. Like no disrespect to the people that
Mhm.
are pumping out albums left and right, but it's just, you can't do that and expect to put out quality every time. It's impossible.
Ooh,
Like
that's deep. Cause
like
I mean that's truth. Like,
because you have to live. Like
yeah.
it's just like with stand up comedy, you can't pump out stand up every year unless you just have really good writers because you're not living life
Hmm.
and you're not putting yourself in a position to create. You're like just drying up all your juices and just packaging that shit.
Right.
But that's my little soapbox thing. Like I just want people to make the art that they believe in, but
Yes.
at the same time, niggas want to get rich, which I'm not mad at that. I'm never gonna say, hey nigga, like stop trying to make all this money because I'm not like that either. Like I get
Right.
it, but it's just what do you want your artistic legacy to be?
Right.
What do you want to be at the end of it all?
Oh, you sound like somebody else that I can't. I don't want. I don't want to. I don't want to sound stereotypical, but you sound like you're talking about Beyonce.
What?
But no, I'm
Oh
just
man.
playing. I'm playing because
Like, I
I
was
mean,
about to say, I'm like, look, man, hey, the
I'm,
beehive scares me, man. Like,
don't
I
be
want to keep all my accounts,
scared.
man.
Nah, nah. But that's like one of my favorite. I mean, that's number one artist for me is Beyonce. I mean, I feel like that, and I'm gonna say it. When Ariana gave us two albums back to back, people was like, "Wait, slow down. We just got an album." Like, I mean, I felt like that, but I'm a guy that I just want music, and I. But when you say what enjoy life, sit in your craft for a little bit, figure out, I just put out a body of work. Let me, figure out, let the people enjoy that for a
And let it
minute.
marinate
Like,
too.
let it marinate. Cause I mean, I, I, I hate to say, but I honestly, when she did give me the album, when she gave me Sweetener, and then turned around and gave me Thank You Next, I was like, whoa! Like it's only been 6 months. Like, let me process, Sweetener because I mean, I was still playing songs on Sweetener even when she dropped the song, and I had to fuse both of them as a playlist so that I can enjoy both body of works. But I mean, they were good to me. But I saw a lot of people was like chill out, like let us enjoy the first work, and but it makes sense when you say it like that, sit down, you like
And it's
take
tricky too.
yeah.
Like, not to interrupt or
No,
cut
you
you off,
good.
but it's like nowadays the fans are super entitled. With the
Hmm.
advent of social media being what it is, these celebrities are too available too. Like every other day, like, if Cardi B tweets anything, it's like, sis, where's the album? And she had told somebody to suck her dick, and I'm just like,
I'm look. That's why I've been quiet. I'm just like I'll keep listening up until you drop me something. But you know,
it's just like, man, let these artists drop when they drop,
hmm
man. Now, granted, there's some artists, Rihanna. It's like we starving, like we want to eat. It's
like
like you
thirsty.
gonna go crazy platinum.
Like,
You going like
please,
you said you got the album ready,
and you
and
don't
it's
want to
just
give it
sitting
to us.
there. But I think she's waiting for the panty to like be over, or to like, or some sort of like mandates to be out.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like when she gives a body of work, I'm gonna want to go see her live, and that's just no, like that's no, like because I've never seen her. She is on my bucket list. The Weekend is on my bucket list. Ariana is on my. I have a whole bucket list that I haven't even seen people, but because it's stupid panty, I can't
Right.
see nobody. I
I was
mean,
gonna go see Thundercat last year. I'm like, yeah, let me get
wow,
these tickets.
right,
Let me see my man's. I wanted to see Anderson Pack and like the Free Nationals. Definitely wanted to see that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say this here. Silk Sonic with Anderson Pack and Bruno Mars, that's gonna be album of the year. You can go ahead, quote me on that.
yeah,
Like it's over. Like
yeah.
you could pack whatever up. They're already gonna perform on the Grammys together. I see the fix. That's
Like
gonna be
you
album
see
of the
the
year.
fix. That's album of the year. We
Because
gonna hold that. It's the what's today? 3/11/2021. We gonna hold that to you at 8:06. Okay.
absolutely.
Now that first song that they dropped, I enjoyed it. I love how they mesh together. You got two creative people with these two voices and these two just the way that they mesh. ready to see what else they can do with each other. So yeah.
Cause have you heard? Do you listen to Answer Pat?
I've only heard a couple of songs, but I will listen to him now because you have put him out there.
Like
So
there's an album that I do want you to listen to. Like
okay,
this is a album that I put my reputation on. It's basically his collab project with Knowledge, and they formed a group No Worries, NX Worries.
okay,
That album, yes, Lord, I still play this album to this day. It came out in 2017, I want to say 2016, 2017.
I'm
One of those
adding it
years.
right now.
That album is amazing, and I think like that album's kind of a precursor now because like Knowledge, he takes samples and he puts the beats together, and
Hmm.
it's a homage to like that soul music from back then, but like they use the soul music as samples as well.
Hmm.
Bruno Mars and Anderson, like as a unit, I can tell that they have a live band. I'm not sure if it's the Free Nationals doing it,
Hmm.
but basically, I feel like it's gonna have that essence, but it's with these two people like giving their love, and it's not so much into the stereotypes at the time either. But
Hmm.
it's just like I feel where they're gonna go with this album, and this album is gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a great trip. But
Nice.
definitely know let me know like when you listen to that
Oh,
album, let
I
me
just
know what you
added it to
think.
my playlist, so like that'll be my downtime music tonight. So I definitely will listen to it. And you keep saying Thundercat, so I'm definitely gonna go check out that person as well.
Like Thundercat, if you're a fan of Flying Lotus, like I know he kind of introduced Thundercat on the scene, but like
Hmm.
Thundercat's claim to fame was on or the thing that really blew him up was him like accompanying or being the bass player on a lot of To Pimp a Butterfly. That was
Okay.
where like a lot of like his traction or a lot of his stock like went up like from
Hmm.
there, rightfully so, because that was a masterful album as well.
Nice. Definitely. I have one question from the comments. It's from our bro Q. He said, Cobra, what video game soundtrack? Because we can go ahead and lead into the video game. This will be
Oh
our last.
man.
He said, what video game
Oh man.
soundtracks, if any, do you listen to on your downtime?
See, I'm rubbing my hands like Bird, man. You shouldn't have asked me that, man. My favorite video game soundtracks, man, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, Sonic 3, Japanese Sonic CD. Really like a lot of like the Sonic franchise has made fantastic music.
Mm.
Um Capcom versus SNK, it's like the nostalgia there. Like I actually have a video game gym playlist. I probably should have passed that along too.
You can pass it to me, and I once we're finished, I'll drop that when I do a shout out later on. I'll drop that definitely.
Yeah, man, like a lot of things that get the blood pumping.
Hmm.
A lot of Final Fantasy, like that's my favorite game franchise.
Look, you
So
got a new name, King of Taste. They say you got taste, man. My bro said you got taste.
it's like, thank you. Like um Streets of Rage 2, one of the greatest 16-bit soundtracks of all time. Like you can't ever go wrong with that. Streets of Rage 1 is also really good as well.
Hmm.
Trying to think just off the top of my head. Street Fighter 2, which was like Yoko Shimomura's coming out party. Like she made some very iconic music, and then she came back later to do the Kingdom Hearts soundtracks. So I realized that like a lot of the music that she made, because like she was a lot like a freelancer for like Square or SquareSoft going into Square Enix. But she also did the soundtrack for Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars as well. How
Hmm.
I realized that she did the soundtrack for like Kingdom Hearts was that the Atlantica battle theme sounded a lot like a couple of tracks on Mario RPG. I was like, wait a minute. Like, hold up. And then I just like did my Googles. I was like, holy shit. So yeah,
Right.
Yoko Shimomura, Nobuo Uematsu, like who's like pretty much a god when it comes to video game music.
Hmm.
Like various tracks on Metal Gear, Tekken, Mega Man. Shout out my boy Shane. Like he's the one that really, really got me like with video game playlists, or not playlists, but like music. because like I was around him a lot of the time, and then he actually would bump it in the whip and everything. You
Mm.
know, so I had to like give my guy his due, and then I just kind of veered off and started doing my own thing. And yeah, you know,
Okay.
video game music, like had I not got into like hip hop like at the age that I did, because I grew up in like a super Christian household, so like a lot of the music I got was late, but it
Hmm.
was me diving all the way in
Yes.
to get this music. But had it not been for that, I probably would have only been listening to video game like music.
Hmm. All right. Cool. So, okay. Last and final question for the night, and that's going to be, well, last two, because you Twitch, you stream your games and everything. And I remember we talked about, and I asked you, I was like, so do you have a favorite game? And you said Final Fantasy is one of your favorite franchises. So let's get into Final Fantasy and let's talk about, what's your favorite Final Fantasy game? And then we also have a question that says, which Final Fantasy entry is your favorite soundtrack as well?
Whew. Okay, actually, that won't be too hard of an answer. Like my favorite Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy 4. Like
Okay.
it's the nostalgia for me. It's Super Nintendo is my favorite console of all time. Like that was like the first console I really dove into. Like me being 31, like the age and everything matches up.
Hmm.
But Final Fantasy 4 is literally a man overcoming his demons and redeeming himself by just like saving and protecting the world. Very simple. You don't have to worry about switching party members because the story does it for you. And
Hmm.
it's the only Final Fantasy that lets you use 5 party members at the same time. Like, little
Oh.
fun fact. And it introduced the ATB system as well. So like going from Final Fantasy 3 to 4, it's like you actually have to like wait your turn to pick as opposed to just like picking your turns like as it comes along. Like it's like, you didn't see the gauge at the bottom of like, how long it takes for your turn to come up, but like it was like automated as opposed to like strictly turn based like it's Dragon Quest. And my favorite soundtrack, that's tricky too. I'm not gonna say 4, but like a lot of like a good portion of my favorite songs are from 4 because like it has my favorite main theme, like the overworld theme. Like it's a beautiful ass theme. But I think my favorite soundtrack it might be 13. Like 13 had an amazing soundtrack for it to be the black sheep entry in the franchise.
Hmm.
Like 13 really good. 10 was like another one of my favorites in terms of a soundtrack. And like yeah, like I love JRPGs. Like this has just always been a thing for me. Like Mario RPG was like the first one I was able to play, but I didn't understand it at the time because I was
Hmm.
super young. It wasn't until later on in my teen years I realized I had that game. I was like, wait a minute, oh, what the fuck? So I went back and played it. But
I'm putting your Twitch in the chat. You guys go follow him on Twitch. Check him out when he goes live. Subscribe if you can, and check him out because I've been watching him for like the last 3 nights when you play this. When you play this guy, is it a karate game?
oh man, it's Yakuza Like a Dragon, man. Like
Like.
I feel like it's gonna jump up on to like my top 10,
Mhm.
possibly top 5 like JRPGs. Because like I
Wow.
already love Yakuza as a series where it's
Uh
like,
huh.
you're this big burly Japanese dude that's actually really nice, but then you're just beating the literal shit out of like these random people in the city.
Right.
It's smoked the game, but it's so much heart in the story. And I'm already getting a lot of heart in the story,
Uh huh.
but it's just silly because it plays like a Dragon Quest game. But it's a lot of like Dragon Quest references as well, like with the basically with like the turn-based combat system, the enemies, and even the main character who now aspires to be like a Dragon Quest hero. Like it's amazing. So if you're into JRPGs, this is a love letter to those type of games, and I highly recommend that.
Like I
And
said, I'm
then
about to dive into some games, so it's on the list. So we'll see.
take your
What,
time. I don't want you to force yourself now. Like,
uh-uh.
but that's what I've been on. Like, I'll probably get back on Final Fantasy 4. That was one of the games I was playing regularly on stream before I took my unintended hiatus. So, but I don't have a schedule for streaming right now. But you come through. I'm definitely gonna try to plan a giveaway very soon. Like, I'm super overdue for a giveaway. Like, I done hit 100, 200 followers. Like, it might not be a lot to some, but it's a lot to me. So, like, I'm just happy to have people that care enough to follow and kick it with the kid whenever he's on, and
Well, like I said, I put it in there. I want more people to come kick it with you because, like I said, I've enjoyed the content that you've been putting out. Like I said, it's fun to see people be creative with these things, and then also see, like I said, I'm getting myself geared up. I'm trying to. My birthday is next Sunday, and I'm gonna try to do something on there. I know the bros and me, we thinking about doing Mario Kart on the stream,
oh
so
yeah,
it's
can't
gonna
go
be.
wrong with some Mario Kart.
Yeah, if you got a Switch, send me your thing. We'll add you in when we play. Cause like I said, we're gonna have some things coming up in April, but I know in the next week and a half we're gonna actually go live and do some streaming with Mario Kart. I got one more. My bro said no love for Final Fantasy 7.
I mean, 7 gets so much love from everybody that I'm just playing, man. I absolutely love the remake. I love the compilation of Final Fantasy 7, and just really, it has stood the test of time because, like, I replayed most of it like before the 7 remake came out, and it's held up very well. I will say this might be a controversial opinion.
Uh oh.
Final Fantasy 8 has not held up as well as I thought it has. Cause I played and beat the remaster, and I was just like, cause like, I love the junction system and how I'm able to easily break the game, but I have come to terms that I do not like time travel stories.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a fan because, like, time travel stories tend to always break their own rules,
Mhm.
and it makes stories a very convoluted mess.
That's deep. Cause I
But
mean, I'm
yeah,
a big, I'm a big fan of Flashpoints. When you say time travel stories, I'm like, oh,
it's like you
you
gotta be
know,
careful. Like,
yeah, you
you
do,
don't
you
want to
do,
overdo it or you'll break your story.
yeah,
And it's like, it's just certain things. Like, it's cool. I still like it. Don't get me wrong.
right, yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think
I
it's
get it,
aged as well as,
right,
like, the other entries.
I get
But
it.
the surprise, like, underrated entries, definitely 9 and 12. Like,
Okay,
Final Fantasy 9 is a love letter to the Super NES era, and 12 is different, but it's a very well put together game, and it brings us back to Ivalice, like
I'm
the
mad. I'm
world from
sitting up here talking
Tactics.
about 7. Like I'm about to sit up here and play 7, and you sit up here talking about 9, 10, 11, and 12. But like what,
Like,
like
no,
what have I
don't get me
got
wrong.
myself into?
Seven is amazing.
No, I'm not.
It,
I'm just saying, like, I didn't know it was 12 of them games. I'm thinking like
oh
7.
man, they're working
That's
on 16, brother. Like, we are up
see,
there.
I done got myself into something that I don't know. I don't think I need to be getting
That's why
myself
I said take
into.
your time. You got plenty of time, man. Like,
Right,
take your time. They'll be there. A lot of those games are on sale digitally on Switch. Actually, like, I
right.
retweeted some of them earlier.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna
like,
definitely check them out. All right, man. Tell everybody once again where they can find you on Twitter, and like I said, I got your Twitch in there, and I'm gonna do another thing, and I'm gonna send out all your stuff. But once again, thank you for coming on. But let the people know who you are and where they can find you.
all right, I'm DJ.CoBruh, and you can find me on pretty much any social media at Super Cobra. So it's super and it's Cobra spelled like this. There we go. SUPERCOBRUH. And that's where I be at. If you ask Mike, like, like, he'll pass you my links.
Yes, I
Like,
will
I'm
definitely.
not too hard to find. I'll follow back. I'm not one of them, where it's like, follow me, and then it's just like You gonna follow me back? No, nigga, I don't know you. So it's like, nah, we don't. I'm not Hollywood over here, so like, just let me know. Like, nah, granted, if you got like maybe 2 followers, like, just like throw out a smoke signal, tell me where you came
Hmm.
from, and I
Wait.
got you.
Definitely, definitely. No, thank you so much. You, like I said, you were my first guest. I appreciate you. I'm definitely bringing you back once I get halfway through Fantasy 7, and we're gonna talk some more about that. But no, for real, thank you so much for coming through.
Hey, thanks for
I
having me.
no, I appreciate you and everything. All right, guys, y'all know who I am. I got to get ready because we are about to do the mess in about 10 minutes. We have an interview. We watched this movie called The Red Pill. It's a political horror movie that's at a film festival right now. And then we also get into WandaVision spoilers. The final finale was everything. Did you watch WandaVision?
Yes, fire, amazing.
Okay, like what? Like mind blown still, like mind blown. Like, but no, for real, I appreciate you for coming out and thank you again. All right, guys, we out of here.